Alright guys, I'm back with another topical video. Another wrestling topic video. Today I'm going to talk about 10 most underutilized wrestlers from either WWE or WWE TNA. Now I came up with, it was kind of hard to come up with 10, but I mean there's so many over the years of underutilized wrestlers in the WWE who I think a lot of the time don't really get the recognition that they deserve. Like, I think they should get pushed higher up the card, and basically just recognize a bit more. Like, the WWE team should create, each promotion should do better for they should push a guy better, I think, in my opinion. And in today's WWE in 2015, the WWE and TNA and probably ROH are supposed to make young stars, and in the WWE's case, they're doing that right now with the Roman Reigns, but they need other guys as well to help Roman Reigns, to help the company as well. And same with kind of TNA. So I don't know what what's your list. I would love to see in the comments what's your top 10, because my top 10 is kind of different. I could have gone up to 20, but I don't know. If I had more time, maybe I would go up to 20, but I only named it down to 10. Number 10, we have Doug Williams. Now, Doug Williams used to be in TNA. Doug Williams was one of those wrestlers to me that really had it all. I mean, he had a charisma, he had personality, he was a really good technical wrestler. He was British, which in my opinion you don't have many British wrestlers in like mainstream wrestling anymore. Like you have a few, but you don't really have that many. So Doug Williams was one of those guys that really had it. But I mean, when he got signed, I think in 2009, he barely got used. I mean, he was in a few title matches, but like I think even when Immortal was around, Eric Bischoff didn't like to push him much because he felt like he wasn't really connected. I mean, this is how Eric Bischoff is the guy that is so disconnected with like today's pro wrestling. Same with Vince McMahon. Those two guys used to be great, used to get pro wrestling. I never liked Eric Bischoff, but Vince used to get it, and in my opinion they both do not get what fans want in today's pro wrestling. So, like I said, Doug Williams got released in 2013. It was kind of a sad thing because I thought Doug Williams had a lot of potential. I don't know what happened. Maybe the TNA creative team didn't have much for him, but at least do something better than just throwing in the tag team division or maybe in the mid card. I thought he could have been a lot better in my opinion, but that's what I think anyway. Very underutilized. He was barely on television in the Immortal era and stuff like that. I mean, he was for the beginning, but then they kind of like kicked him out of the group and he was barely in featured. Anyway, and number 9 is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, for many years in the WWE, has been very underestimated and very underutilized, I think, in my opinion. The best run that they had with Cody Rhodes was in 2011 when he was a great heel. My God, he was a great heel. He was feuding with, he was like Superstar League for 2011. He had a great feud with Rey Mysterio going into WrestleMania 27. A great feud near the end of 2011 with fucking Randy Orton. Randy Orton even got a clean win, I think, one time on SmackDown over Randy Orton. I mean, this is a guy from the Breakfast Club, man. He's getting a clean win over Randall Keith Orton, the guy who's never really puts over young guys clean, in my opinion. And there he did. 2011 got a good clean win. And then in 2012, his character kind of did fade a bit. His old creepy character kind of faded from 2000. I mean, he was great in 2011, but in 2012, WWE kind of dropped the ball with him and stuff, and then he kind of got lost in the shovel. And then in 2013, he turned a babyface, and then they kind of lost it, and then he got lost in the shovel again. And then they teamed up with his brother, and then that got hot for a few months, and then he got lost in the shovel again. And then we're back where he is again in the tag team division. Like I said, I think Cody Rhodes just doesn't get used properly. I mean, here's a guy who can cut great promos, is an awesome heel, and can really get great heel heat from the crowd, and I don't know why the WWE creative do not push him, better than this. I mean, he is a guy that is a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and you should be pushing him to be that. But also, you're not. So at number 9 is Cody Rhodes, and I think Cody Rhodes. I think this year he really does need a real big push. I hope he does get a big push after this Cody Rhodes and Goldust feud. At number 8, Cesaro. Now Cesaro is kind of like Cody Rhodes. Cesaro this time last year was fighting, was challenging Randy Orton, and was challenging 5 other guys in an Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title last year. And a year later, he's teaming up with Tyson Kidd. Here's another guy that, like Cody Rhodes, has a lot of charisma, a lot of is a big, strong guy. I mean, he's a big guy. He is a big guy. I mean, a guy that the WWE like. They like kind of the jacked up, muscly guys, and he's not like kind of he's not like a second generation superstar or anything. Cesaro is from the Indies, and the WWE. I mean, I don't know, like. I mean, in 2013, the fans said Vince says that he was boring. I don't know, but apparently, I don't know, but like I said, WWE dropped the ball on Cesaro. I think Cesaro has a lot of potential to become a main eventer. It's just WWE do not want to push him as a main eventer. They just see him kind of as a mid card, and that is kind of a waste of a talent to me, in my opinion. I think Cesaro could do a lot better if he was maybe in TNA or just back in Ring of Honor, because this guy has a lot of potential, and it's kind of sad to not see him fulfill his potential. Number 7 is Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is like Kofi Kingston is kind of like Kofi Kingston is in the same scenario as Cody Rhodes has. Cody Rhodes and Kofi are in the kind of same boat, because these two guys, have been in this WWE kind of the same time, and then Kofi, his best run at possibly becoming the main event was in 2009 with that feud with Randy Orton. He had one win over Randy Orton, and that was the Survivor Series. The month after, he got buried, lost in the shovel, and then he tried again a couple years later. In 2012, they put him in an Elimination Chamber match against CM Punk and against 5 others. CM Punk was defending the title at the time, and then after that he got eliminated first, and that was it. The shovel again. He was lost in the shovel again. Kofi, and really, the guy has a potential. I mean, he has got charisma. Like I said, he's got all of it. But the WWE they could do something different. Why not have the WWE, I've never had a black WWE champion. They've had a black World Champion, but they never had a black WWE champion. And this is kind of what makes it kind of shocking to me. Over 50 plus years with that championship, not one black wrestler has held the WWE title. And that kind of makes me kind of pissed off, in my opinion. I mean, is that WWE being racist? I'm not saying that they are, so don't say, I'm not saying that they are, but I mean, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of, it makes, it'd be kind of different, having a black guy become WWE champion would be something cool and different, something that I'll be interested in, and something that it'd be cool. I mean, it'd be better than, it'd be better than just shoving him in the tag team division all the time. So, yeah, Kofi Kingston, a very underutilized guy. So, yeah, he's at number 7. Number 6, I think a lot of you guys would agree with this one. Christian. Christian's first run in the WWE after he broke up from Edge. A lot of people were saying that he was gonna maybe win the WWE title in 2005, and also he didn't. He left. He quit WWE, went to TNA for a couple of years. Did better in TNA than he did in WWE. Won a few world titles. Came back in 2009. Then they waited about 2 or 3 years. Then in 2011 they finally put a world title on him. He had 2 world title reigns as heel. This was Christian like Cody Rhodes. I think Christian and Cody Rhodes really in 2011 really stood out as two main eventers that should stay in the main event scene. They didn't really, but like I said, Christian didn't stay in the main event scene because of his injuries, and basically he had to retire at the end of this year, so end of last year. So yeah, Christian was a very underutilized guy in WWE. His TNA run was very good, but his WWE run, I don't know, he never really met his full potentials. Like, he was a main eventer for a bit, but he never stayed there for a couple of years. Not like Edge, but you know. At number 5, Samoa Joe, the guy who left TNA this week. Samoa Joe. Here's a guy that TNA screwed over time after time after time after time after time after time and again. When they had something good for Samoa Joe, you know, they were pushing really good, but sometimes they would have sometimes they were just giving stupid shit. Like, look at the shit feuds he's had. The shit feud with Jeff Jarrett. The tag team with Magnus was good. The Booker T and Samoa Joe feud, I hated that feud, man. Worst feud that they could give him. I never liked that feud in 2008. And then I think the only best feud he had was probably the one with, I like the one he had with Sting and the one he had with Kurt Angle. That's the only two feuds I like. And this is a guy in Samoa Joe who can and can be athletic in the ring. Basically, he is a big guy, but he can fly around the ring for a guy his size, and that kind of pissed me off. Like, they didn't really use him to his full potential. I mean, he was X Division champion, he was world champion, but he never really stayed in the main event scene. He was always kind of like lost in the shovel, like barely on television in 2011, especially the whole model thing after the Jeff Jarrett feud and stuff. So, like I said, but I can blame that on Jeff Jarrett and TNA Creative Team. Then at number 4 is Bad Influence. Bad Influence were like kind of were in like the same boat as Samoa Joe. Here you had two guys who would entertain you every Thursday night. It didn't matter if the rest of the show sucked. The two guys you would watch would be Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, because those guys would just entertain the hell out of me. The segments they was in, the feud they was in, maybe not the coalition, but the other feuds they was in, entertained the hell out of me. These guys won the X Division title, the tag team titles, the TV title, but they never got to become TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Kazarian never got to have a chance to win that title. They tried. TNA couldn't be bothered. I mean, they nearly put the world title on Daniels twice. They tried twice to put Daniels nearly won the world title twice. He had one time was with AJ Styles, and the second time was in 2013 with Jeff Hardy, and then they failed kind of twice. I mean, I thought maybe the first time they weren't going to do it in 2009, but in 2013 you should have Christopher Daniels become the world champion. I mean, would he have done anything wrong to have Christopher Daniels as your world heavyweight champion? He would have entertained the hell. He would have been a great heel world heavyweight champion, but not a coward heel, a entertaining heel that would entertain you and get you invested into that title and make it interesting again. Instead of just putting on the same guys, like you keep putting on the same guys like Jeff Hardy and RVD and just stuff like that, and that kind of pissed me off. But like I said, again, these two guys, Kazarian and Daniels, never got used to their full potential, and that kind of pissed me off. Another guy that didn't get used to the full potential was Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal was one of these guys that I think, in my opinion, should have been pushed a lot better. I don't know if it was the TNA Creative Team. Why did you think they were Creative Team? TNA Creative Team, or maybe Vince Russo didn't like his gimmick, you know, him copying the Macho Man. I don't know what it was, but he was a guy that had great mic skills. You know, what the hell is this? You know, in my opinion, a guy that TNA didn't use properly, and number 3 is Jay Lethal, that should have been used a lot better in TNA. I mean, he left in 2011, he got released because, you know, I think he left to quit or whatever. Well, I don't blame him if he quit. If you're not going to use a guy, just leave already, in my opinion. And this is a guy that in 2010 had a feud with fucking Ric Flair. How can you go from a year of feud of 2000 at the beginning of 2010 feuding with Ric Flair, a fucking two-time Hall of Famer, to getting buried and not even being on television in 2011? I don't get it. That's TNA for you anyway. Anyway, number 2, we only got 2 left on the list. The number 2 is Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, for many, I'm going to talk about his WWE run. His TNA run hasn't been that bad. His WWE run has been so damn terrible. When he came into the WWE, he was supposed to be this dominant heel kind of character and stuff. But after the Undertaker feud and kind of the other feud, after the Undertaker feud, and they turned him babyface, and then he got injured, WWE just wanted nothing to do with him. They released him. Never really reached his full potential. Won Money in the Bank, and then he got stripped of it because he got injured, and then he gave it to Edge. So basically, Mr. Anderson never got a world title shot in WWE. I went to TNA, got a better career in TNA, had great feuds with Bully Ray, Sting and Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, and finally did win the title in 2011, which I thought was good. Number 1, John Morrison. John Morrison was one of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE in 2011 because this was a guy that I thought in 2011 the WWE was really going to push to that WWE title. He was a guy that was the MVP of, who really shined at Royal Rumble 2011, Extreme Rules Elimination Chamber 2011, and Extreme Rules 2011. I mean, all those 3 pay-per-views, he shined at those 3 pay-per-views, which was Royal Rumble, Chamber, and Extreme Rules. And after that, John Morrison kind of got lost in the shuffle. He, got buried. I mean, he lost to guys like, he got, buried. He got lost to guys like, I think, Tyson Kidd. I don't know, but he lost a lot of matches. WWE creative team really had nothing for him. They were kind of running out of ideas, so in late 2011 they released him. But I mean, this was a guy that had who had decent mic skills, great wrestler, a guy who had all the package, in my opinion, and they didn't use it. I mean, he was the IC champion. I think only time that they had a load of times to give the title to John Morrison, the WWE title or the world title. Look at 2009. He didn't. The WWE creative team had him face Jeff Hardy in 2009. He wasn't ready. Okay. 2011. He was ready. This was when John Morrison was at his best. 2011 was the year that I thought John Morrison was going to do it, was going to win the belt. Didn't happen at Elimination Chamber. Didn't happen at Extreme Rules. Kind of pissed off that didn't happen after WrestleMania. Should have happened. Him and Christian should have both won the first 4 titles at Extreme Rules 2011. It didn't happen though, but I was kind of pissed off. And then after that, late 2011, he did get released, and that was the end of John Morrison. So that's the end of this video, guys. So that is my 10 most underutilized wrestlers from WWE and TNA. What did you guys think of this list? Leave your thoughts on this list in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Frag out.